The current patch buffed several hero augments, and one that has been quite surprising in its strength is Reach for the Stars Jax. My name is Boris, and today I'll be looking at the Jax hero augment followed by a VOD review from a top tier player. Quickly about the comp, we are ideally playing it on Serpent, Mountain, and Altar Constellations Medallion. It's going to be a little tricky as you sometimes might not have enough econ to capitalize on it fully. Then we are hopefully able to tempo already with a Jack Slam. If we are loose streaking, we are playing around some form of an econ engine in form of a Timebreaker or Primordian. On level 6, on 3-2, we roll down for our 2 stars, as this is where we definitely want to be picking up the rounds and secure ourselves placements. We are playing around a 3 Stargazer plus a Nova board. We aim to finish this Jax by around 4-1 or 4-2, and then we are fine to push levels to 7 to be able to slot our full board there and finish chasing our 3 stars then. Once we make it to level 8, we slot in Rust, and at 9, Morgana. Few other things to note about the comp. We have to be very wary if there are going to be any Lulu reroll players in the lobby. If there are so, maybe strike up a deal with them that they're not holding extra Jaxes, but that's going to be the best of luck for you. Titan Resolve is the best Radiant in the comp. Aatrox 3, Lulu, Maokai 3 all are luxury, and you're going to be definitely needing a lot of items if you're chasing that many 3 stars, so there's going to be a little conflict in that direction. The comp is not very flexible in artifacts. I've listed some here. We can replace that Eon with Wit's End for the Jax, or have Dawncore and Ares for the Milio, but ripping that Forge can be quite of a gamble, especially on 3-2 or 4-2. And with emblems, this comp is not really flexible at all either. Only one that seems to be performing well is the Bastion emblem, enabling you to play for 4 Bastion on level 8. For our itemization, Jax definitely wants that Titans, and BT is going to be his best healing item, and then we're looking for Edge of Night. This is pretty much a hard bis, whereas Milio has that built-in crit through Fate Weaver. Therefore, we put in double mana gem through Nashers and finish off that raw AP with Death Cap. However, holding utility in form of Morello is completely fine. Shojin for mana generation is also fine, and obviously the Stargazer emblem if we are playing on that mountain. Whereas Pantheon is going to love those resistances through Bramble and Declaw, identify what the lobby is leaning more into. Otherwise, generic tank items, Protector's Vow, Crown Guard, Warmogs, all that jazz, whatever you're able to spare, and Slam for tempo is going to be suffice. For our augments, you're definitely looking at something that's going to enable the reroll for us, some form of an econ augment, and then item augments to itemize our 3 stars, as without them they're not performing as well. On the combat front, healing orbs can make this Jax survive longer. Same goes for Second Wind, and since this is a comp that loves to play Rust, they're going to be loving also that Bronze for Life or Stand United. For the god selection, obviously since you're playing a reroll comp, Varus is going to provide us a quite high cap and has the potential for the duplicators. Otherwise, Kale for items and item tempo, or Yasuo to further buff up our units. As usual, this cheat sheet is going to be available in the link down below, along with all the other ones I have made, and I have pretty much fully updated the meta sheet, so you can check it out there, which contains also all of this cheat sheet. And now, let's jump in a VOD review with a pro. For our VOD review, we are going to be jumping in game with Souless. We are going to be playing in a Varus and Thresh game, and if you have not heard of Souless, he's pretty much usually streaming on Twitch. Currently a tier 2 player, has had a few unlucky tournaments where he, I believe, misses by a single point, and we check our Stargazer to be the mountain, and we are going to seem to have a quite heavy econ start, just slotting that Lulu as a possibility to be playing for that reroll. In the current meta, if we ever find a chance to get away from this multi-way contest of Corki, Yi, and Asol, we always should do so. And yeah, definitely this is going to be a quite heavy econ start, and we're lucky to pick up all these Stargazer units. We can definitely be playing in a mountain, which offers quite few options how we can approach the line and remain flexible through our item slams. We currently have a sword, and even though that might not be Shojin, might not be Lulu's preferred item, it's something that we may consider. He already has pulled up a team planner, and looks like he's going to be angling that Lulu reroll from here. And we have a Shojin, exactly. So we have a quite strong of a start. And going up on another augment selection, we also opted to make 10 since we had a clear direction to hold on to. Generally, when you're going to do this, you're going to be playing more into the Lost Tree kind of way, but we still have a pretty alright board, especially if you're able to find a Bastion. Loot Singularity, this augment is simply too slow. It's more of a fun augment, and I would highly advise not taking it. Money Hungry is just a weaker of an econ option. We already see this Reach for the Stars, something we may consider. I generally tend to lean away without the slams, but we have such a good opener that we could do so. Earths would be mostly playing into this Darkstar. We do not exactly have the spot for it, and this is going to sacrifice, especially on the lower item start. We're investing heavily on the item economy front, by having to kill a component, and an augment to simply just make a single emblem. That's a lot. And bodyguard training is just a little bit weaker. It plays well into something like a Yi, for example, but you want to be getting to pushing those levels from a tempo spot, capitalizing on the extra armor and the combat you're getting right away. We do not have so strong of a board for that. Going to be going with Reach for the Stars, find a Pantheon already as well. Most likely going to be econing here. The leveling for the Pantheon here would not be as much of a value. Oh, since we do not have a slam, not considering that we could be maybe playing for a win streak, even though our front line is going to be lacking a little bit. We see there's another Stargazer player, so we have to hope that they're not going to be picking up too many Jaxes. Now, the thing you have to note into this playing into this line is that hopefully there's not a Lulu reroll player in the lobby, as obviously they are going to be also chasing that Jax 3. Shouldn't worry about TF rerollers, as that is heavily fallen out of the favor in the meta. Holding on to also another potential of the Caitlyn right there. If we find an early TF, could possibly slot in that just for a little bit of a tempo, and if you're able to play for a win streak, we're definitely going to be doing so. Able to high roll our Jax 2 already, which is going to be quite neat. Still a little worried that he might get surrounded, and going to opt to go for a level here. Since we won that first fight, this is neatly spotted. A lot of players stay away from this kind of a play, even though it's going to cause us a little bit of econ. If you're able to make it back here, especially by going on the 2 streak, it's going to be quite worthwhile, wanting to preserve those lives, as generally these comps tend to fall out of favor in stages 5, especially in the lobbies that are more on the greedier side. Therefore, we want to get our punish hints, get that HP lead going, and secure our placements through that. For us to win with this kind of a hero augment, we would either need the lobby to be heavily contesting each other and dragging each other down, or hitting very early so that we are able to get to these caps and outcap from there. However, I have seen this Jax been able to do quite a lot if you get the perfect augment setup. If you're able to hit quite early, you still have a potential to pick up a win in a lobby that's not as high capped. Queuing into a player here with those backline grouping, but you can see already this Jax 2 is an absolute beast right here, being able to simply take down the whole team. And for our god selection right now, we have the option to go with Varus, which should give it all 3 cost shop. This is essentially 3, this is a 3 gold. Not that worthwhile. Thresh's Boot, raw gold 2 up front, and this is going to be generally more value. Even though we would have wanted to align ourselves with Varus, we are fine to be picking up something here. Able to make that BT from our Pengu selection, so going to be rolling with that immediately. Wanting to prioritize a slam right away rather than going for the exact best. If we found an Edge of Night, perhaps would have preferred that to be a little bit of a stronger slam, I believe. But Souless is going to be valuing the BT here, and that is completely fine as well. Going to be aggressively pushing levels here as we're able to find that Aatrox right away as well, getting that 2 Bastion, and so we have a little bit more durability on our team. And against the Standing Loose player, we definitely have a strong board right now. We have scouted the lobby, have seen that we can perhaps end this on a 5 streak, and that would be an insane spot for ourselves. Another reason why he might have leaned so heavily into this Reach for the Stars Jax is that we already had a single copy, and this is what opens up these possibilities for you to high roll, right? You can identify, even though we didn't have a slam, we had a single copy, and we saw that the lobby might not be on the strongest of the sides. Therefore, if we're able to simply pick up the Jax 2 from a high roll, we are able to definitely secure quite a lot of placements through this high roll right there. Also, we're opting to play the Talon here in favor of the Twisted Fate, as the Twisted Fate is not going to be doing that much at the moment. We see there's Jax 2 pulled out, so they have a dupe. So with the Rageblade, we have to hope that they're not going to be playing into some form of a reroll. Not sure what they plan with the Rageblade is. Yeah, going to be giving up on a single TF. We are not exactly chasing this guy 3-star unless we are able to get him for free. That is simply by rolling through our Jax and not sacrificing our bench slots. Our first Stargazer emblem comes in, and the thing to note about the Mountain, for example, this Aatrox right now is currently not benefiting from the Mountain effect until he has an emblem on it. Therefore, you are fine to be positioning these units out of these Mountain hexes if they do not hold an emblem. Mountain only is going to be benefiting the Mountain holders. But this is completely fine of a positioning right now. Opting to reforge a single of the gloves. Unfortunately, do not hit another sword. We're going to be quite sword heavy. Since we are on a 5 streak, leveling here to 6, slotting in the 2 Timebreaker to get a little bit of an attack speed. Could have opted to maybe slam a Steadfast, but it seems that we are valuing that we might lose this fight anyhow, so not going to be sacrificing the slam for a suboptimal item without necessity to do so. And yeah, with the Kindred and the sorry, with the Rageblade and the Kraken, they seem to might be playing in the Stargazer reroll, or they might be chasing just a Kindred, which should be more standard way of playing into Yi. For our next augment selection, we are going to be looking primarily now for some kind of econ enabler. Otherwise, we're fine to be picking up items, as we're going to be having quite a few 3-star units, and they're not going to be worth well unless they're itemized right. However, Stand United is also a prime combat augment. Any comp that's going to be running Rast is going to love that Bronze for Life and Stand United. Could be looking for that, so let's see if he's going to be defaulting. Probably, yes, he is defaulting. Band of Thieves simply gives us a potential tank presence right now. Branching out, emblem's not so great right now. Maybe we value the Reforger Twin Guardians, otherwise a strong augment in the comps where you're able to utilize it, something like the Asol Flex. But I believe we were gambling, I believe, to be going for this branching out, and we went for a reroll and found on a roll, which is going to be absolutely incredible for our spot. We have only upgraded a single unit right now, and we're able to capitalize on this roll down right away. Make our 2 stars. Trade Zaya. Okay, here they're playing into Zaya, right? My brain's already in the Yi mode, but obviously playing for these Zaya on the mountain is completely fine, especially with those item slams going to transition a lot nicer. Q into Recon Bob Nunu 2, and there's a player with this Darkstar Singularity augment. Have a Karma, I believe, might have cashed out, so they're definitely on the pace, but you can still, if you do the math, it's going to be taking them so long to get there. Finding another Jax, capitalizing on our reloads, we can see that we are utilizing this spike. It's completely fine to not be sitting here at 50 gold. We have pairs we can hit, we can upgrade our board, we can farm more free rerolls, push the tempo, secure the placements, even though our 3 got broken. Playing into what's most likely becoming a Corki board, Corki Riven board right there. Have high rolled at Ramos, but the Jax still is going to be stronger. We are going to be punishing this fast AF player right now, which is fine since they're playing for that lost streak strategy for them as well. Still, we can see this TF1 putting in a lot of work, so definitely a weaker lobby on the side for our next selection. Well, Ethereal rerolls could be something that definitely enables our rerolls. I would be leaning still trying to align ourselves with Tavares to get at HP, but perhaps we are not valuing it to be as strong of an option. We definitely have a way to be spending our free rerolls, so that could be a nice econ option on top of what we have, and yeah, we're going to be going with that, picking up a bow to complete our Titans. Double Chain West here is also fine, another reason why we probably were not slamming that Steadfast, holding on to that Biss, identifying that we have no need to be investing into subpar items right away. Finding that Lulu 2, going to be holding on to this Rast right now, but we'll be fine. We're so close to this Jack, so we're also going to be rolling for even further right away. Fortunately, do not hit, stopping here at 20 gold. Do not want to be nuking our recon completely, as we are not in a spot where we absolutely have to do so. Against another, what's probably becoming a Corki Riven board right there with the Deathblade Slam, always going to be a signal that they're going to be playing into it. Finishing off here on a 3-win. Oh, we still have, yeah, we have a single round into the stage. And still trying to chase, but this last copy never comes. Finally able to find it. Now we have to use our free reroll again. Able to pick up, and we're not that far from Aatrox 3 either. Going to be slotting in the Nova right there, spotting, yeah, that's going to be a little stronger. Give us a Shred and Sunder sorted out, and a little bit more durability through the Maokai's heal as well. Should definitely be closing this one up for streak, so we're in the prime spot, selling off the extra Aatrox copies as an itemized. He's not going to do too much. We at this point we do not have the extra items to be really looking for another itemized tank. Farming another Stargazer emblem that could go on a Maokai or Aatrox, probably Maokai, especially since he's just going to be a little bit buffed more, stronger as itself, and able of utilizing those stats. Are we going to be able to get this sword? Unfortunately not, but we do get another Reforger. Going to be pushing our way to the level 7 right now. Still considering the possibility to be chasing Lulu 3 as well. Going to slam that Sunfire. Could opt to... What would be reforging here? Go with a Spirit Visage and then just simply a TG or an Open Glove. Open Glove is going to be sufficient. Going to hold on to our Reforge for the augment selection in case we do get some kind of an item augment that we will be definitely looking at this spot. We have our recon sorted out. What is going to enable us to push tempo right now is going to be obviously the items. We can sit here with the Jax 3 for a little while. Duo Q works as both options. However, exclusive customization secures as an option to be going for that last item. Maybe he values 2 components more. Is going to be 2 of the to simply hit that sword. Let's see, he's debating between 2 because the 7 gold is appealing since we are so poor on gold, and he decides there's not that into going with the items. He's going to be going with the glass cannon to further up boost his team. That's an interesting play, but perhaps it is the right one. We'll have to see how this plays out. I would have definitely slammed something potential for an item. Can get a melee or a Lulu item right now, or gamble onto the Jax for the Edge of Night. If we wanted to queue into what seems to be a Nami Riven board, does gank our from backline and we get taken out right there. Was fully hit, and this, as you can see, even when we've hit, we are on 4-2. These 4-cost boards that have fully loaded in, especially with the reinforcement, are going to be ahead of tempo. Utilizing our free rerolls right now to upgrade our Maokai too, so probably going to be transitioning items onto him, as he's just simply going to be stronger than the Pantheon too. Trying to be on the side, and positioning in a way to get our Jax to gain the glass cannon buff. Nicely identified. Having a little bit more damage jump onto him is going to be definitely worthwhile right now. Able to go up against this Darkstar player, and you can see they are starting to fall off through their augment choices, are not providing as much, especially they also have to take you have my bow right there, and nicely able to pick it up. Now just a duplicator here, no need to discuss. You can identify the reason why the duplicator is just simply so strong. Picking up a belt that could allow us to complete a Striker's Flare on this Milio, since he is the Fate Weaver innate crit is quite neat. Perhaps going to be just simply completing the full slam on the Aatrox here. Yes, we are going to be doing so. We still are lacking also the... No, right, we have the shred sorted out by the Aatrox, so we are fine on that department. Our utility is fully sorted. Able to gank onto this Corki, so that's going to be big, but with this Riven living on single life, however, we are able to take him out. Nicely picking up any wins we can on this stage 4 is going to allow us, especially from this weaker gold situation, to rebuild our econ and then hopefully roll for one of our other 2 carries alongside. As I believe we are just simply a little too poor to be pushing levels from this spot, and especially when we are this close to Pantheon 3 as well. Another quirky Riven player with a naked Riven 1. Let's see how we fare. This Corki is also 2.5 items. The Jax does get surrounded, and probably this Corki board is going to be able to take him out. This is why also Aeon is so nice. Whenever he does get into these backlines, simply want to be dropping the aggro from the other carries. We're going to be probably, switching for a sword, and this... going to be just simply taking the first sword we see and figure out the rest of the items as we go. Get another Stargazer emblem as well, so that's going to put a little boost up to our front line as well. Could just slam a Hodge or reforge a belt or a glove. I would hold on to the Hodge, slam, and then simply reforge the belt for a potentially stronger item. But perhaps he saw more options through this way of finding something like a Adaptive Helm, for example. Have to give up... What do we exactly give up there? I'm not 100% sure, but going to be slamming a Vow here, get our front line more durable so that this Jax does not get re-aggroed on so fast. Up against another AP flex kind of a board playing. Looks like their plan was to play for fast 9. Did not exactly work out, and we're able to take them out. Amazing spot for us to be in, that we're definitely going to, from the HP side of things, looking that we are going to be able to finish in the top 4. And this is all, again, why it's so nice to be playing these little less contested lines. Simply, if you're able to tempo correctly, you're going to have the HP lead to manage yourself away into a top 4 whenever everyone is simply fighting over the same units up against the Xayah player there that has made it to a Jhin 2, but we are able to take them out. That's absolutely incredible. Again, positioning in the wave to get the wrap on the backline, even though we were on the other side of the Jhin, still able to clean up. We have that burst on our side. You can see the augment is definitely quite powerful if you're able to get to that setup, and this is without having found one of our 3-star tanks yet. Another Corki Riven board here has made it to that 9 with the Bard 2 and the Shen in there, so this is going to be a tough matchup. It has the decal as well, so it's going to stall us quite long. The Beyond procs, and Still only lose by a single unit. This is definitely a 3-star frontliner diff, so you can see how well this augment is comparing against some of the best comps in the meta. Going for an item anvil right now. Still have hold off from slamming that, using that duplicator there. Gets a mana item for the Milio. As we have the HP lead, we are still able to keep fishing here. We have that free reroll from the Varus every single turn to be looking for our units, and we want to be reaching max cap. Therefore, we are not under pressure to be slamming this duplicator right away right now. Up against the fast 9 board that is thankfully still on the Vex 1. Does the again, our Jax does get re-aggro, but he's just simply able to clean up these fights against like 4 units targeting. So he's actually quite a bit of a monster whenever he has that Titan's Resolve stack. Still has the Eon to stall longer as well. Cannot chase the Lulu 3 from the spot. We believe that we gave up on that quite early on. Still unfortunate that we have not hit our either the Maokai, which we are on level 7 for, or the Pantheon. This is sometimes the downside you have to pay for when pushing this level. For the level 7 right there. Again, we queue into a Rammus immediately, so this Corki is going to clean up our weak side, and then now we're going to be in lots of trouble since the Riven 2 is there as well. A little weird in the itemization that they do not have that Dead Blade right there on the Corki. Could maybe value IE just a little bit stronger, even though he has that built-in Fate Eater crit. We do reach 7 Stargazer, and this is going to be quite strong now. We have a lot of effects. Obviously, 8 Stargazer is the best one mountain performing in the stats, but that's going to have the bias by simply being in the by simply you living that long. Able to complete our Maokai, able to complete our Pantheon using that duplicator on Milio. Now we have reached our spike right there. Going for a 3rd tank item to itemize simply our both tanks, and definitely should be quite strong right away from now. Have reached pretty much our potential cap against a Darkstar player who is able to, with the Blitz, to knock our tank away. Our Jax does get targeted, re-aggros, and then just simply the Blitz falls, and we're able to get to clean up their backline. And definitely can see another reason why this comp is so strong is the ability for Milio 3 to be a very strong carry in the meta. Might be a little harder to hit with all the Corki Riven players, but still nonetheless very strong in its own. And we are in a top 2. Have taken out the lobby by capitalizing on the fact that they are quite contested, and we're going up against an IE Nunu. Something has not gone exactly to the plan for them, but let's see, we are on the same side as the Vex. Do have to get through this with his beliefs. Yes, this is stacking Leona 3. Our Jax does get chipped, so the Eon procs, but still he's able to endure the damage, and he simply jumps around, and as soon as he gets through the tank, we're able to fully clean up their backline. This is performance is even surprising me, as I did not expect this augment to be as strong. I faced it only once myself, and he did clean up quite well, but I do not recall exactly where the player finished. Giving up on the Twisted Fate 3 just simply to ensure that we make 20 and have the potential to push levels in case we need to get to the Trust 2, as they have that Vex 2 hit right now, and our Jax is now on the other side, being protected a little bit more by these tanks. So hopefully this is going to buy enough time, and we do so, and we're able to chew through their front line and get to close out the fight. Very well recognized and played game by Souless right here. A little bit surprising and ballsy plays, but sometimes in TFT you have to gamble to go for that win out. Capitalized on our tempo well and managed it quite very well to say. Knew our roll timings, knew when we had to be strong. Did not stick on level 6, pushed that level 7 to slot a stronger board when we know everyone is going to be spiking. Then utilizing our augment and the god selection to finish off our 3 stars. Did not opt to push levels even further. Knew that our cap is going to be reached this way, greeded for it, reached it. We're able to punish the lobby as it's going to be so many multi-way contested, and winout, showing the true strength of this hero augment. I would like to thank you for watching, and as usual, the cheat sheet for this comp is going to be available in the link down below, along with the meta sheet that I've updated pretty much fully right now. And I hope to see you in the next one. Have a good one.